Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mitchell here with Luke and Robert, and we're on a live set today at Simmons College talking about who we want with our first pick in our fantasy football drafts. Luke, why don't you start us off? Who are
Look,
you
I'm
taking?
going with Austin Eckler. He has a electric young QB by the side of him. He is a fast, talented young superstar who can easily break tackles and score a lot of touchdowns. What I am worried about is that he is quite injury prone, but I think if he continues to work hard and play well, he'll get over them.
All right, Robert.
Yeah, there's a lot of choices this year, I got to say, but I'm going to go Alvin Kamara this year. I liked him last year and past year. He just keeps going. I mean, the points he puts up in fantasy is just unreal. Sometimes he can do it all the time. Also, same with Eckler. He can be injury prone as well, but I think it's worth taking the risk with your number one pick.
Yeah, but I'm going with Derrick Henry. Coming off an injured year, but he was on pace for 2,000 yards. I don't think the injury will set him back very much. I want Derrick Henry. He's going to go for 1,800 plus yards this year and plenty of touchdowns. We're open up to some audience questions. Any questions from the audience? Yeah, we'll start right here.
So you're telling me you wouldn't take the leading rusher in the NFL last season, Jonathan Taylor, as your number one pick because he is also not only just that running back, but he's also a receiving back and the number one guy for Indianapolis. Why would you pick them over him?
Yeah, I don't see him doing what he did last year. And also the addition of Matt Ryan, they're going to be looking to throw the ball more. They're not going to be relying on the ground game as much. So I think he's not going to get as many touches as he did last year. And they're going to be throwing more with Matt Ryan. So that's why I'm taking Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with him there. I'd say the running game was just they just kept using it so much last year when Wentz was the quarterback. You didn't see him throwing a lot. I mean, looking at the game against New England, like they ran like all game, it looked like. They just never threw it. It felt, and I feel like that's going to have an impact on Taylor. And he might get the ball thrown him at times. Who knows what'll happen? But I think it's a big impact there.
Look,
it's stated.
Generally, I believe that you should take Taylor in the first round. I wouldn't. I want to give him that year to mold with Matt Ryan as a quarterback, and then we'll see what happens. First year has been challenging for a couple running backs with a new quarterback, so we'll see how it works, and then we'll go from there.
Yep, over here.
Speaking of, because you guys took a lot of injury-prone players as your first pick, where do you think Christian McCaffrey's going to go?
I took him one last year and it didn't work out. He's done the same thing 2 years in a row. I don't want him anywhere close to the first pick. If you can have an 8 or 9 pick and he drops that far, take him all you want. He makes plays himself. He doesn't need a quarterback. But I'm staying away from him just with how injury prone he is.
Yeah, for me, I put him on a list I call the DND list, the do not draft list. He is my do not draft player. You just get every year I see him and he's on the IR. On the IR again. Something's happening. He's a DND guy to me. I just don't pick him at times because of that how injury prone he has been. Even with the points he racks up, I just don't think it's worth the risk.
Same as Derrick Henry. I believe that he is a very talented running back, but he's working with either Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, and he relies a lot on his passing game. So if you don't have those quarterbacks, throwing the ball a lot, especially because they're just pretty bad, then I don't see him going very far.
Yep. Any more questions? Yes, over here.
Hey guys, I'm in a league where we all have to draft some punters. Which punter should I take late in the draft?
Patriots always have a solid punter. I don't know who's getting the starting job this year, but take him. Bill Belichick loves his lefty punters. Take the Pats punter.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Mitch. Yeah, it's literally if the Patriots punter is available, if whoever's there, Bailey, whoever, take them. I don't care, just take them. It's just how it is. I mean, I hear sometimes the Ravens have some good punters too. See who they have. It's just whoever those two teams are the priorities for the punters.
I couldn't come up with any names, but just look for a punter that will punt very often, but is still on a good offense.
Yep, right here.
So there's speculation that Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended for 6 games after his recklessness in Las Vegas. How is that going to affect if you pick? Are you still going to pick him number 1 if he gets that suspension?
I'll go there because I was the one who said that. If that happens, and I believe my draft is not for a little bit, he'll be also a DND guy. I'll pick someone else. I mean, if that happens, I'd rather take McCaffrey, but I'm not going to with the first pick, obviously. I would wait multiple rounds, and he won't be there if that happens. So I would take a different running back. As someone mentioned, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I may take him. All these players have risks in the high parts of the draft. I mean, I wouldn't say really take a receiver yet. I mean, there are receivers out there you can take. I mean, I remember I took CeeDee Lamb in his rookie year, and it was the best decision I ever made. And he went absolutely off. And then he's one of the top fantasy players as well. So definitely do research on certain players. Look at certain stats. Look at how they were in college. Late in the draft, if you take a rookie and you see how well they were, it's worth taking the shot at sometimes. There's a lot of options you can do in fantasy football.
All right, that's all the time we have today. Thank you guys, and this is Mitch signing off.